evening, the evening news. I'm Abayomi Adeyemi. The Defense Headquarters has urged Nigerians to disregard the malicious allegations and support the efforts of the armed forces to enhance national security and promote the welfare of servicemen and women. The Director of Defense Information, Brigadier General Toko Gusau, in a statement faulted the allegations regarding Nigerian military's request for visas to attend the Invictus Game in Vancouver, Canada. He held Nigerians to support the officers, men and women who sustained various degrees of injuries while protecting the nation. According to Brigadier General Toko Gusau, the need for accurate information at this time cannot be overemphasized. Brigadier General Gusau said the Nigerian military received an invitation to participate in the Invictus Games with its team that comprised of 3 officers and 21 players, including the team's physiotherapist. He explained that the Invictus Games Foundation catered for the team's accommodation and feeding needs, along with those of other participating nations. He said, however, in spite of the military's best efforts, only 14 members of the team, excluding the team leader, captain, and physiotherapist, were granted visas. Brigadier General Gusau noted that the participation of the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, would have added mental strength to Nigerian troops. The Nigerian Security and Defense Corps has warned the Nigerian Labour Congress against its planned March 1st shutdown of telecommunications services in response to the recent 50% tariff hike. The Private Telecommunications and Communications Senior Staff Association of Nigeria and the Association of Telecommunications Companies of Nigeria similarly pushed back against the NLC's planned boycott of telecom services and shutdown of telecom infrastructure, arguing that such actions are misguided and could harm the industry. The spokesperson for the NSCDC, Babawale Afolabi, in a chat with journalists, said the agency had deployed operatives to the base stations to prevent any illegal action by the protesters. The NSCDC tasked with protecting critical national infrastructure, including telecommunications, expressed concern over the potential risks the NLC action could pose to national security and public safety. It will be recalled that the NLC announced its intention to shut down the operations of telecommunications companies across the country if the tariff hike announced by the Nigerian Communications Commission was not reversed by the end of this month. The union directed Nigerians to boycott the services of major telecom providers starting February 13 and continued through the month. The NLC, in a communique signed by its president Joe Ajero and General Secretary Ima Ugbaja, accused the telecom operators of breaching public trust by implementing a tariff hike before the conclusion of a 10-man review panel's deliberations. The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, has issued a 48-hour ultimatum to the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, to reverse the newly announced hike in automated teller machine ATM transaction fees, calling it unlawful, unfair, unreasonable, and unjust. According to SERAP, the development would worsen the financial hardship faced by Nigerians, particularly low-income earners. The letter also cited Section 1CD of the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Act 2018, which seeks to protect and promote the interest and welfare of consumers and prohibits restrictive or unfair business practices. SERAP noted that imposing exorbitant fees at a time when many Nigerians are struggling economically is unfair, unreasonable, and unjust, warning that the policy creates a two-tiered financial system, discriminating against economically vulnerable citizens who may not afford the extra charges. The increase in fees, according to SERAP, contradicted the Tinubu administration's commitment to addressing poverty. The West African Examination Council has released the result of the 2024 November-December West African Senior School Certificate Examination for private candidates second series. The head of the National Office, WAEC Nigeria, Dr. Dangote Amos, made this announcement while briefing the newsmen in Lagos. He explained that a total of 65,023 candidates sat for the examination, with 34,878 candidates representing 53.64%, achieving credits and above in at least 5 mandatory subjects, including English, language, and mathematics. According to him, this marks an improvement compared to the 44.29% pass rate in 2023 and 42.16% in 2022, reflecting a 9.35% increase in overall performance. He stressed that 62,364 candidates had their results fully processed and released, while 2,669 candidates are awaiting the completion of results processing due to errors attributed to them. He, however, added that the examination body withheld the result of 2,577 candidates due to suspected cases of examination malpractice, stating that investigations will be conducted to determine if the results will be released or cancelled. He noted that one of the 57 candidates with special needs, including 25 visually impaired, 13 hearing impaired, and 15 albinos, have had their results fully processed and released. Reverend Victor Afolabi of the First Baptist Church Agurodo in Ejigbo local government has urged on the need for Christians to be righteous and be prepared for the second coming of Jesus Christ. Reverend Afolabi gave the advice at the final burial service and thanksgiving for late Princess Ruth Bonjubola Oyetola, popularly known as Iya Idewure. Reverend Victor Afolabi of the First Baptist Church Agurodo in Ejigbo government has urged on the need for Christians to be righteous and be prepared for the second coming of Jesus Christ. In his sermon, Reverend Victor Afolabi described late Mrs. Ruth Oyetola as lover of God who showed everyone the way of God during her lifetime. He said Mrs. Bonjubola Oyetola's kindness and generosity extended beyond family, as she frequently helped those in need within our community. He added that Mama was a member of the Women Missionary Union of the Church and a financial member of the group called Egbe Balogu Unity till her death. Reverend Afolabi charged the children to accumulate the good characters of their late mother, speaking on who the late Mrs. Bonjubola was while alive. Her son, Reverend Dr. Oyetola Simon, described his mother as a disciplinarian, a great soldier for Christ, whose legacy will prolong nature the children in the way of God. And from the sports desk, the La Liga match between Espanyol and Athletic Bilbao was briefly stopped after allegations that the visiting player was racially abused by fans. Bilbao forward Inaki Williams told the referee that teammate Murhan Sanadi was being abused by some Espanyol supporters during the first half. The referee responded by activating La Liga's anti-racism protocol, which saw the match suspended, and a message played on its stadium public address system warning fans it would be abandoned if the abuse did not stop. A message condemning racism was also shown on the big screen at Espanyol's Cornellà El Prat Stadium. The game did eventually continue with both sides netting in the second half in a 1-1 draw. Both clubs condemned the abuse on social media, with Bilbao posting united against racism, zero tolerance for any discriminatory attitude. It was learned that the Spanish Football Federation and La Liga have taken steps to try to tackle an increase in racist abuse by introducing measures including partial stadium closure. And from the foreign scene, more than 40 people, mostly women, were killed after an illegal gold mine collapsed in Mali. The collapse took place near Kenabi in Mali's western gold-rich Kais region. A gold miners union leader told journalists that the victims climbed into an open pit, areas left by industrial miners to look for scrap of gold, when the earth around them caved in. The collapse occurred at an abandoned site formerly operated by a Chinese company, as Beijing is heavily invested in developing Mali's mining industry with the approval of its government. Report says that the incident is Mali's second deadly mining accident in 3 weeks, after at least 10 people were killed when a mining tunnel flooded late last month, while rescue workers have been able to retrieve their bodies. Mali is one of the biggest gold producers in the world. Accidents are common in the country as much mining activities is unregulated, with miners using unsafe methods to dig for gold. And that ends the evening news on OSBC TV. Join us at 7 for the major reports. Good evening.